We're live in the parking lot at Nissan Stadium, about to head over to watch the Titans play. Jumping on live before we go, we're just share our thoughts on the game, just chat a little bit before we head in to see this epic matchup between Houston Texans and the Tennessee Oilers.
Tennessee Oilers, by the way.
Yeah,
They belong to us.
haters gonna hate. We own it. We did it already. It's our team, our name, our idea.
So what are we starting with today?
What do you think? Thoughts on the game? What do you think's gonna happen?
Hold on. Should we start with line check?
I mean Wycheck. I got the Wycheck jersey on. We're going through this Wycheck. There's supposed to be a Wycheck tribute like about 2 minutes before kickoff. So we got to head and make sure we catch that. But yeah, I mean the passing to Frank Wycheck last week, first home game since
That
then.
is hard, man. That's one of the first stars that we,
I mean, this is my original Titans jersey. I got this when I was like 14 years old. Which I was like, it tells you how like they changed the way that jerseys fit. Is that I that and old as I am, I can fit into a jersey that I bought when I was 14 years old. But yeah, he was my first favorite Titan. That was a rough one, but he's gonna go.
You remember how much the ladies loved Wycheck
Oh my
and
God.
Eddie George?
My
They
mom,
loved them both.
my mom was obsessed with Frank Wycheck. She was, yeah, that was Frank Wycheck's the first like. I'm sure every dude has this with their mom, where you're like, you realize your mom's actually a woman, and like the way she was obsessed with Frank Wycheck was like when I was like 15, 16, I was like, oh yeah, my mom actually is a woman. She has like those type of feelings.
My mom did that with Jeff Fisher.
I don't
Even
like
with Jeff Fisher, I don't know. She always thought he was really hot, and it was just always weirded me out. Because he kind of looks like Kenny a little bit, with the hair and the mustache,
does look
right?
like Kenny.
A little bit.
He does have a Kenny vibe, but like they have that same hair, beard, like
The brush
swoop,
back.
like that's like yeah. My dad looks like Jefferson Cleveland, and it's like I think every dude who like grew up in like
the
the
70s.
70s and 80s, like when they got to the 90s, like mustache, swoop back,
Yeah. Not slick back, but swoop back.
yeah, just
you
like
still
a
need some
cold
fluff
back,
to
yeah,
it.
yeah. Like there's no gel in the hair, just push it back and like it stays there somehow. It's a little thin and dry for some reason, but yeah. Oh man.
Frank Wycheck. It was a lateral, by the way.
Hmm?
I've seen the
The
video
math
100 times now.
science has actually proven that it was a lateral. Like they scientifically proven that it was a lateral.
I think they do that.
Yeah, I think there was like a scientist who did like a mathematical study and said like, yes, this is in fact a lateral. So
You think when he got to heaven, the first thing he did was argue with Mark Howard? Like, you remember like how much they used to fuck with each other? Excuse my language. On the morning show, like him and Mark Howard used to argue about stuff all the time, and then Kevin Ingram would have to be like the peacemaker.
I actually saw somebody tweet like protect Kevin Ingram at all costs. And I had actually forgot that Mark Ingram had also passed away. And I was like, where's this thing? I was like, is he in the thread right now? And I was like, oh yeah, this is like the original Wake Up Zone crew.
It was Mark Howard, Frank Wycheck, and Kevin Ingram.
That was like looking back, that was very mean of like 104.5 Zone to like they take Frank Wycheck and like be like, hey, you're gonna be the color analyst, but also you have to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning every day to do the Wake Up Zone. Like put them on 3HL or whatever it was called back in the day.
I think Frank brought a lot of obvious attention to CP and concussion stuff too. Because you played high school football, I played high school football, and the way they taught us to play and lead with your head, smack them. They wanted you to smash them with your head and try and kill people, and we've gotten away from that.
You literally were taught that your head was your weapon. That was how you hurt people.
I was like, lead with your head.
Like, yeah, it was like that. It was like, yeah, it was like, yeah, the crown of your head. That's what's gonna hurt people.
100% where you want to hit people with.
Destroying people. Like I didn't even play that much. And I probably had like 17 concussions somehow. I won't like throw anybody under the bus for this, so I won't name names. But I was playing high school soccer at one point in time. Me and the dude jumped up for a header, and we just headbutted the crap out of each other.
Guy Medlin?
No, this was not. It was a player on the opposing team. I didn't know where I was for like the next 3 minutes. Like couldn't see straight. I kept asking the coach to take me out, and the coach was like, "It's been 5 seconds. There's a sub waiting to come in. I can't get him in until there's an opportunity to sub." And then I just went like, put my head down on the sideline. I couldn't see straight. Then I had to drive me home. Next day, go to school. I'm like, "Hey, am I supposed to practice today?" And they're like, "How you feel?" And I was like, "All right." And they're like, "Okay, you can practice." That was very minor compared to obviously like Frank Wycheck just getting blown up by like freaking people like
Well, I mean, you have Ray Lewis.
yeah, Ray Lewis and the crazy linebackers and stuff like that were just blowing people up back then. But yeah, so bad for him. Like it was interesting. Like it was funny because like there was a little bit of crossover in some of the worlds I'm interested in. Like he was got brought up on Wrestling Observer Radio this week. Dave Meltzer was talking about about it because he had the appearances in TNA Wrestling where he showed up and matched the match. Yeah, when they were
at the fairgrounds.
At the fairgrounds, he tag teamed with Jeff Jarrett in a few matches, and
I got a concussion doing that.
There's a retire from concussions and then go do professional wrestling. Not the smartest thing in the world, but there's a funny clip going around where Jeff Jarrett just this is how like the universe is. Everything's scripted. Everything's pre-written somehow. WCW was in Buffalo for Monday Night Show like 2 weeks after the Music City Miracle, and
really?
Jeff Jarrett came out, white check jersey, full Titan gear.
Oh, I bet they lost their mind.
Just like he had a cage match, and he just was like cutting a promo like, "I'm so glad to be from Nashville with a team that knows how to win, not a crappy team that always loses like the Bills."
I bet they
and I'm gonna tell you what, it was a lateral, and the crowd's like nuclear heat. Is awesome.
Dude, I'm surprised they didn't storm the ring. Because Bills fans are crazy, dude. That's one thing. Like I've always respected the Bills fan base. I think that's the new thing.
It's all Bills Mafia, them jumping the tables. Maybe it's just social media like promotes that stuff more, but like
we weren't seeing it.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't like, maybe it wasn't a thing back in the day, but now it is a thing. It's like, oh,
or they were always doing it. I don't know. I get it, but pour one out for Frank, man. You were awesome. Yeah. Love you.
Love you, Frank. Miss you. Always a legend. Game today, Texans. They've got no players. Their whole team's hurt. This is where
we don't have players just because we found bad ones.
I know. But this, like I was saying, this is the game we lose. Anytime, everything's
we're coming off like a win that nobody said we would ever do. I didn't even watch the game. I was like, we're gonna get the brakes beat off us. They put 70 up on the Broncos. They're gonna put 80 up on us. We didn't watch it, and apparently it's one of the greatest Monday Night Football games we've been in. So
I said this on Friday night on my live stream, but I think I'm the ultimate bush, and maybe now that I've actually put some Titan bets in today, so I probably screwed that up. But I bet every single Tyreek Hill prop for that game Monday night. I had him over receiving yards, over receptions, anytime touchdown score. I was like, he is just going to cook us. Third play of the game,
over 300 yards.
Yeah, third play of the game. It's like, oh, he's out for the game. What the heck? How does this happen? How does this happen? And I also like the Texans, who we're playing today. I 4 weeks ago bet them to win the division, to make the playoffs, and then I bet Will Anderson to be defensive rookie of the year. They get killed by the Jets. He breaks his ankle. He's out for the. I have put today's bets in, and now now that I'm saying this out loud, I'm like, this is a stupid idea. I bet Tajay Spears over 40.5.
Total generally, I think that's a good bet.
I think it is too, but it'll probably tear the ACL because it doesn't have them now.
You can't tear ACL because you don't have them.
That's my logic. And then I also bet DeAndre Hopkins anytime touchdown scores. It's like revenge game. DeAndre Hopkins, the narrative, the story, the scene when DeAndre Hopkins in an Oilers jersey scores against the Texans. It's going to happen, but probably not. I thought it was stupid. Score prediction, what do you think?
Oh, that's tough. Just out of the blue like that. I don't like. It could be 10-6, or it could be 38 to 32. Like I have no idea how this is gonna go. So we've just been so unpredictable this year. Like there's no consistency with how we're playing. And one thing I think I've noticed, the 2019 to say the 22 Titans, even probably a few years before that, one of the major issues that I think we're having now is those earlier teams, there was a cohesion there between the players that you would see on social media and other things where that team genuinely loved each other and loved playing for each other and had a lot of drive. I don't think we have that connection. This team doesn't have that connection yet. But from what I'm hearing, people are starting to rally around Levis the way they haven't in a year or two.
It is kind of weird. There have been some, and once again, it's getting social media so much more prominent now, bad apples in the team. Jaleel Johnson got cut. He actually like a little turd on Twitter right after he got that. Now he's back on the team somehow. Monty Rice was like, watch the tape and see how badass I was. Like,
and Sierra Tart,
Sierra Tart, like, yeah, he's cut apparently like.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you didn't have that descent the first 3 or 4 years where we were kind of in our prime, and you have that now. Like, it happens when you cut leaders. You lose Daquan Jones. You lose tight end. Why am I having a brain fart? Delaney Walker. You know, you lose Taylor Lewan. These guys that are vets and leaders, and you know, there's a cost to that. I understand. You know, you have to get rid of people before their time is up. But at that same time, sometimes it's worth keeping somebody even if their production drops because they're a leader on the team, like Kevin Byard, and you know you feel that, and you have to have new leaders step up, and you know we didn't necessarily have that yet. But the way that Will Levis looked on the sideline, and the way the guys have talked, I mean, when you have DeAndre Hopkins, who's arguably going to be in the Hall of Fame 5 to 6 years after he retires, I mean, he'll be first round. Yeah. I would think.
Yeah.
And
I think there's new guys that are popping their heads up, like you mentioned Hopkins, like he's not like the vocal like going out there like he's like gassing the boys up, like he's out there on Twitter defending the team. Jeffrey Simmons, you know, he was on the sidelines the game this year for come back. He flew all the way down to Miami with the team. He showed up today. Like, I don't think he's playing today. Like, I think he's still out injured. Yeah. But he's showing up for the game to play.
Decked out, too, by the way.
Decked out.
I don't know if you saw his fit, but he looks legit.
He looked great. You know, obviously Levis, like, he's getting the boys fired up. So we've got some new boys that are stepping up. They're getting those guys fired up. So it makes sense, you know, like, Jared Carr has been a good player for us. But, I mean, like, if he's bringing the momentum down, bringing the energy down, you know, when we've got all this stuff going in the right direction, he's been like somebody that's so good that you can't survive without him. No, I mean, that's like 3 games already this season. So it's like, you know.
But did you miss him because he's not committed?
Yeah, that's the question. Were they injuries or were they injuries? So, should be a fun one, you know. If nothing else, every Titans game this season has been interesting. Where it's like somehow we like look like the 2000 Rams one game, and then the next game we look like the 2000 that Mettenberger era Titans in terms of the time. So like, no telling what's gonna happen. That's what makes Titans games fun because there's really no way to know what's gonna happen.
One of the most embarrassing things about my Titans fandom was I thought Mettenberger was good.
You got ejected from the stadium?
No, I was happy for that.
Oh
no, dude. Could you imagine if I'd been at this, like, if this was a Dolphins home, like it was a home game?
That would have been much more fitting to you if they come back to the official thing. Yeah, no, I mean, I think every Titans fan was just so desperate to have like a good young quarterback. I think all of us. If you say you weren't on the Mettenberger train for at least like one game, you're a liar. I think everybody he had the mustache, he had the little flair.
He had the arm, dude.
Like, he had the success at LSU. Yeah, there was so many signs that like that could be good, and maybe if it had been Tim Wisenhunt and that just like terrible air, like
Munchak was bad though.
Munchak beat the Chiefs. Munchak killed the Chiefs dynasty before the start. No, not Munchak. That was thinking Malarkey. Yeah, Munchak was just like Jeff Fisher.
No, Malarkey. You know, honestly, I was kind of upset and felt like they did Malarkey dirty when they brought in Vrabel, like because he had won our first playoff game in several years.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't fair, but I mean at the same time it's like there was clear that he needed to progress the team in a way he wasn't with his coaching staff. So you know. Yeah. And I also think like, you know, it's one of those situations where
with the OC, right? That he didn't want to get rid of. Is that what it was?
I think the OC was the main one, but there was a couple like, you know, where they said like, hey, we probably should make some changes to the coaching staff and Milwaukee was like, these are my guys. Which, you know,
was Vrabel's one too?
Yeah, but I think it's a little overblown the Vrabel's loyalty to his guys thing.
Do you think that Vrabel fired Ackerman, or do you think Amy Adams told him
I think he fired Ackerman? Like I can't imagine. Like this is me just like assuming that Vrabel, like, you know, I don't think he wanted to fire Ackerman, but I think like that game,
it was so bad.
He was so aware that he was like, there's just no way I can fire this guy. But I was kind of like, I
Do you think Jared Stillman blew his load when he saw the
I'm sure that was like the first thing he ever got right ever. Said he predicted he was going to tie, but everybody whatever. I said, and I kind of like this is kind of my thinking, and I kind of like have given Vrabel a little more sympathy because I think at this point in time we kind of know Vrabel just at least the last like 2 to 3 years was not happy with what John Robinson was doing. So I kind of think he was starting to blame the roster more than his coaches. Like he felt it was unfair to fire his coaches,
which there is
when
something
they weren't
to
given
that.
the
There was some
personnel
bad
there.
roster additions towards the I don't like
I even said this like this is not my devil's advocate. Like I thought Fred Hoffman should go, but I mean like we have not made any effort to actually acquire a actual like return specialist. This is the first bringing in Nick Folk. It's the first time we've tried. We've actually acted like we needed a kicker.
Do you think he would be better than Eric Garrett?
Probably, but I mean, like, but that's what I'm saying. It's like the efforts roster build wise to do anything special teams. Like, haven't signed or tried to sign anybody that could be a punt return specialist. This is the first season other than Parthon where we actually like went and actually like, hey, maybe we should sign like a kicker who might know how to make field goals. And we got Nick Folk. Every other year, it was like literally like the last 3 years, like in training camp, we had like 2 rookies, and
How
we're like,
different
we'll
would
just sign whoever the
20 and 21 have been with respectable special teams?
So much better, so much better. But that's what I was saying. It's like I think like there was a degree to which Vrabel was like, I'm going to give Austin the benefit of the doubt because the guy running the show, the guy signing all the players, has stuck him with Fat Randy.
Well, there was that.
I love Fat Randy. He lucked into Stonehouse. Stonehouse is luck. You know, Austin shouldn't get credit for. Nobody should get credit for Stonehouse. It's like you stumble upon a punter like that. That's pure luck. And then like he's just never signed a returner. Like I was watching like Khalif Raymond get blown up last night on a fair catch in the Detroit game. I was like, why is Khalif Raymond not still on the team? Like why do we have like?
Well, one of what Rand Carthon's first couple press conferences, he Vrabel said, "Hey Rand, let's get somebody that can at least catch the ball." Remember that when they were talking about special teams?
Yes, but I didn't notice this in live. People pointed out this post game that a Dolphin player like grabbed Gerard's shoulder and like kind of pulled him as he was trying to catch the ball. So it probably should have been catch interference on that, but still, he should not have been in that spot. He should have been like,
if the ball hits the ground,
get away from it.
Get the fuck away. That's
Peter,
literally all you have to do.
Peter. Once again, we don't know much about football. Like we played like high school and high trouble. We know Peter, get away from the ball. Kyle's out. I think this is a good time to end. Yeah, I hope it's caught in live stream. I think this is a good time to end the live stream. We're going to the game. I'm gonna have a full game vlog that'll come out tomorrow. He's sitting there like a dog. He's not picking up the audio, but this is what happens when you go to the game. We're going to the game. There's gonna be a full game vlog coming from your video, coming from the game today. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Turn the bell on for notifications to get alerted when that goes live, or if we do any future live streams like this one. Thanks for watching as always. We get Kyle Connell's score prediction. I'm gonna wrap up the video. We're wrapping it up. Score prediction. Give it.
I told you. I don't know.
You gotta give it. On the spot.
Titans 28. Texans 24.
I'm going Titans 23, Colts 17. Colts? Who the fuck? We're not even playing the Colts. The Colts are gonna. It's gonna be like a wrestling angle. The Colts are gonna run on the field. They'll be like, because they played the other day, so they're trying to get extra wins to get in the playoffs. They're gonna show up.
Nico Collins is about to score a touchdown, and
the Colts are gonna show up. Gardner Minshew's gonna steel chair Case Keenum and be like, "No, we're stealing the belt," and they're gonna win the game somehow. The Colts. News prediction: Colts 28, Titans 21. That's the result for this game. They're going to show up wrestling angle. They're going to sneak in the back door, try to steal the title last minute. I like it. Colts go. Colts are going to win. But Oilers, Titans, tighten up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the future. Enjoy your life.